Welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to discuss a system that I've created to create easy results. If you feel life sometimes is a grind, if you're just pushing and it gets harder and harder, well, I have a system here that's going to help you make things a little bit easier.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performance Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. This podcast is going to be a little bit different than most. If you are driving in the car and you don't have an ability to write something down, you'll have to listen to this episode twice. But that's okay. I'll give you the concept and then you can go back and listen to it and write it all down. But if you're at your computer, you've got a pen, you got a piece of paper, I want you to take a piece of paper and draw a circle on it. And in that circle, I want you to say and write the words, you have. Outside of the circle, you want. So everything inside the circle is what you have. Everything that you want is outside of your circle. This is going to show you how to get the things that you want that are not in your life currently. Because if they were in your life, they would be in the you have circle. At 12 o'clock on the circle, I want you to write down the word actions. At 3 o'clock, the word results. 6 o'clock, beliefs. I'm sure many of you have seen a similar type drawing where actions lead to results, results lead to beliefs, and then your beliefs add to further action. And it starts a spiraling effect. Well, this one's a little bit different because what comes up in life at 9 o'clock is called obstacles. And underneath obstacles, I want you to write bad habits, limiting beliefs, and low energy. And what you're going to find is the obstacles and the interference at 9 o'clock, those are the things that really kill your results, kill your actions. Now, just like a merry-go-round, when we start to spin this and it goes faster and faster, what happens? Everything moves towards the outside. It expands, right? If you're a kid playing on the merry-go-round, you're almost thrown off it. Well, what happens in this case is that circle gets larger and larger the faster it goes, and that's right, you start to get more of what you want because your pie, your circle is expanding. So how do we get this to go faster, and how do we get these results? Well, first we got to get it started, right? So how do we get it started? How do we start taking action? Well, there's 3 ways. We can start taking action based in fear or pain or the pursuit of pleasure, something that we really want. We start taking some action. And there's 2 ways that we start taking action. It's either through motivation or because of our standards, what we hold ourselves to. And for the most part, it generally starts with motivation. I want to get away from something or I want to get towards something. And if you're familiar with a lot of my work, I try to steer people away from motivation. Motivation is like that sugar high. It's great for getting you, moving, but it's not sustainable. It burns out really quick. What I want to work towards is standards. That it's your standards that are drawing you towards your goals. It's your standards that are moving you away from things that you need to move away from. Next on your sheet on the left-hand side, away from the circle, I want you to write down actions, underneath that routine, underneath that habit, underneath that obsessions, underneath that addictions, underneath that identity. To the right-hand side of actions, with a little arrow leading into actions, I want you to write motivation. And then coming out of identity, with an arrow coming out, I want you to point towards the word standards. All right, so here's how this wheel works. You start with motivation, which leads into an action. That action is going to lead into a result. That result is going to create a belief. Hopefully a positive belief from the result. And hopefully the obstacles in your way, bad habits, limiting beliefs, or low energy aren't going to interfere too much, and that creates more actions. And you start this merry-go-round, this circle moving. Then what happens? Once we're doing that for a while, what does it become? It becomes a routine. Then routines become what? Habits. Our habits become our, you guessed it, our obsessions. Our obsessions become our addictions. And our addictions become our identity. and our identity starts to form our new standards. So a couple notes here. I want you to think of habits and obsessions and addictions. There's a flip side to every single coin, right? There's a heads and there's a tails. There's a pro and there's a con. Sometimes these words end up with negative connotations, but I want you to take from these the positive connotations, the positive meanings. Look, is it great to be addicted to eating great foods and taking care of your body? Yes. Is it positive to be addicted to taking care of your family and your loved ones? Yes. Those are great obsessions, great addictions to have. And they form your identity. And your identity sets your standards. And your standards are what pull you through. When you have a standard, when your identity is X, I'm a healthy, smart, vibrant, loving soul that is willing to do anything to help anyone, anytime. Is that going to create amazing results? Absolutely. Do you have to be motivated to get up in the morning when your identity and your standards are at the highest level? No, it's just who you are. It just flows. And as it flows faster and faster, your circle, your sphere increases. And the things that you once wanted are now inside, are in your life, are in your circle. So you may need motivation to start, but quickly transition into creating routines, habits, obsessions, addictions, identity, and forming and constantly forming a newer, higher standard. That's when life gets truly amazing. Question of the day: where in your life could you use higher standards, better routines, better habits? Instead of just falling into habits and routines, consciously create the ones that you want, the ones that serve you and move you closer to your life's vision. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin. Click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter @ThorConklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.